Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south, I'll be spreading out.
What's going on? What's going on? Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here to another episode of Business, Funding, and Whiskey. Today, I have a good friend of mine, a person that I hold dear, a serious entrepreneur. He helps businesses, not only businesses, but in this case, security companies. He has a background in security company, and he's been able to develop an amazing company, an amazing system that is not going to allow, not only help, but allow the security companies to be able to become profitable. Because we've seen, especially going through the pandemic, how many businesses went out of business just because of the lack of capital and the lack of knowledge in operational. But his name is Omar Palacios. Omar, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here with us today. So tell us a little more about you before I talk about what you do. Tell us a little more about you, where you come from, where do you live?
I'm from Seattle, Washington. So I've been here mostly all my life. I lived in Puerto Rico as a kid, but pretty much I'm a Northwest guy, man.
So you're a Northwest guy. So right now, your background. So you've been able, guys, Omar, he's been able to actually develop SNAP. SNAP stands for Security Network Accelerator Program. Now, his mission and the mission of his company is to help as many security agencies, owners, to be able to get out of poverty, because the average, what is the average that you told me that the average security company in the United States makes how much? Or the security company owner makes how much a month or a year?
What I'll say is that 96%, over 96% of service business owners never reach $1 million in revenue. And of those, of the businesses, of those service businesses, about 95% of them end up failing. And when I say fail, it's like even businesses that are successful and provide a living for the owner, at the end of the day, they can't sell them or they can't give them to their kids because their kids don't want a job. They don't just want to take a job from their parents. So what ends up happening is they just end up closing the business, and that, that's a failure pretty much.
That is a sad reality today, that a lot of people go in business just because they want to get out of the rat race. They want to get out of not having a boss or working for corporate America or working for the man. And what they do, they end up buying another job. They cannot get out. So keep in mind that if you ever have a business, quote unquote, that will not make you any revenue or any passive income, if you are not present, you own the job. So the purpose here is, this is one of the main things why he has created what he has created, is to help you to understand how to exit. And when we talk about exit, it's not the ability of you just leaving, it's just the ability of you pushing back. As a business owner, you want the ability to not only employ others. The goal here is for you to use your brain, use your network to create jobs for others, but at the same time, you reap the benefits of your business, of what you've been able to accomplish. And in this case, as a business owner, that's the job. You want to be able to, we go into business, right, to create the lifestyle that we always dreamed of, not to get another job. So tell me, where does all of this come from, Omar? I know that you were a smart man. I know you have a background, but when did this all click? How did you start this business, and why did you start this business?
Yeah, well, my background in security goes all the way back to 2006. Pretty much, I started as a guard, just working for a local company while I was going through barber school. And then I had a friend at the time who, he just said, man, we're both working for security companies. We might as well just start our own company, because he didn't like his boss. So he just said, if my boss is so stupid and can get contracts, we can do the same thing. So we did it. We didn't know any better. We were young. And we just said, let's go ahead and start a business. And, we failed a lot early on, and we had no help. We didn't have any mentors. We had to learn everything the hard way. And so that's why, after all these years in business, because fast forward to now, I've owned and operated many businesses. But now, what I want to do is I want to reach back and I want to help people avoid the pitfalls that that I had to go through, that are so common to the industry. And then the other thing is, man, throughout my years in the business, I noticed that a lot of people, they put in so many years of hard, backbreaking work, and at the end of the day, they have nothing to show for it. And so, just really taking a look around and evaluating myself and what I want my purpose to be. I think that what the reason why I'm an entrepreneur is because I really want to help people avoid poverty. And so why not start here in the security guard industry where I've developed a passion for the industry. I know so many people in the industry, and I can start making an impact here.
Amazing, amazing. So you actually stick to it with it, right? You started there. You learned the school of hard knocks. That's what we always know, the school of hard knocks. Now, the goal here is for you not to also emulate what Omar or what we have done. So trust me, we probably did it the hard way, but we learned through it because we stick to it. We became consistent at it. But the goal here is for you to listen to someone that already walked the path that you are looking to start today or that you're going through, and you cannot find the answer. But we have, and that's what Snap was built for. But let's talk about Snap. I love the name. I love Snap. I know it, and the Snaps, it stands for Security Network Accelerator Program, right? Let's
Yep.
talk more about that. Why was this created, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah. Well, I'll just go back a little bit to before Snap.
Got it.
Um, I was actually throughout the period when I was building my first security company, I was also a barber, and so the idea was that I would cut hair until I could support myself through my business.
Got
As it turns out, it took a long time for me to stop cutting hair because I was making more money doing that than I was my own business, and life throws its wrenches in your plans all the time. So eventually, in 2016, I said I'm just going to focus on the security company, and I'm going to go full throttle. So I stopped cutting hair, which was providing a living for me, which security was not at that time. But I went full throttle into it, and I started learning so much. And then in there, what happened is I met a guy who was willing to mentor me. Like I said, at first I had no mentors.
it.
All of a sudden, I meet this guy who was willing to mentor me, who was a regional manager for a company that recently sold for $1 billion. It was a security
Wow.
firm called
Wow.
Wayland, and he mentored me, and I learned so much from him about just the security industry. And it just so happens that at that time, um, simultaneously, I met a venture capitalist who I had an idea for a mobile app, and I overheard him talking to somebody saying that he is a venture capitalist, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, can I steal 15 minutes of your time? I just want to tell you about my idea. I'm not asking you for any money. I just want to know if this is worthwhile to pursue." And he met me that Saturday, and he made me an offer by the end of our conversation. So from that, it was like I was learning, security at a high level from my mentor there, and then this venture capitalist who is now my friend, and we've partnered on multiple businesses together. Um,
Nice.
when they invested in me, I was able to see business at a very, very, very extremely high level in that office when I was working in there, because they gave me everything. I mean, we're talking about like, you know, the office building was downtown Seattle. We're overlooking the skyline. It's like, a lot of money in there, and
Nice.
companies coming in and pitching. And so it's like Shark Tank, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Companies coming in, and I got to see some really cool ideas, and learn a lot of great things during that time frame. Um, and so when that happened, uh, you know, that's where really I started to learn that, hey, if I can get around people who know more than me, I
Yeah.
can begin to be more successful. And that's when things changed for me.
No, that's amazing. You said something key there. You found someone that was mentoring you, that actually was able to not only take your idea, and I guarantee you that your idea was an idea, but having these people in your life was able to not only polish that idea, that goal, and able to make it better, right? Because sometimes, don't get me
Absolutely.
wrong, we have some, and that's something as a business owner, I implore you to be always open. You never know where the next idea and the next innovation in your business comes from. It could be from a new person that came into the door to the oldest person. Always be humble. That's something as a business owner you should know. That leadership is not positional. Leadership, it is a situation. You need to be able to be open because we all, as business owners and as leaders, have blind spots. And this is what he says. Something he says something key. Always look for somebody that can help you. Always invest in yourself. In this case, you may be able to go ahead and find someone like a venture capitalist and just talk to them about, hey, what do you think about this? And this person sees the light in you and is able to invest in you. But other times, you need to get your butt off and spend a couple thousands of dollars on someone that is going to help you get to the next level. Because I guarantee you, if you don't, you are going to spend more than that in just trying to do it yourself. Trust me, we've been there. I've done it. So I'm telling you not because I read it, it's because I've done it. But man, this is amazing. I love it because you have a plan behind it. You have a mission, and I feel the passion on it. But what is the mission that you have, and why you started this company?
Well, like I said, the mission that I have is just to help as many people avoid poverty as possible. And that's why I'm an entrepreneur. Like I said, that's why I want to start here in the security industry. But I know there's a lot of people who start businesses and they just have not been able to learn the things that I've been able, that I've been fortunate to learn.
Yeah,
And you know, these are, and you touched on something where you said like pay somebody thousands of dollars just to mentor with them and be their student. Like I've done that.
yeah,
And even in these relationships, you know, there's always been an exchange. You know, with my venture capital partner, you know, of course, the exchange was equity in my company. And
got
even
it,
though that ended up being a failure, we had some successes later on.
got it.
But that ended up, you know, we ended up cultivating a relationship because of the hard work that I was willing to put in. And like you said, I knew that I had blind spots. And so I was very open to learning from them. And that's what I want to do is I want to reach my hand back and, to answer your question, my purpose with Snap is just to help accelerate the growth of the companies in the security guard industry so that they can begin to achieve financial freedom faster and to help cut some of that learning curve out for them. Um, you know, a lot of times you're just going to have to go through the motions,
Yeah.
but there's things that you can be taught that will help cut some of your journey in half. Then that's basically what I intend to do with Snap for security agency.
That's awesome. All right, so you have created this amazing system for security companies, but let's just say a company can a company replicate that for any other industry?
Um, Pretty much business principles are the same across all industries, for the most part.
Yeah,
That's why when high level people look at a business and they hear the numbers and they can immediately tell the story and know whether they want to be involved or not. If you watch shows like Shark Tank and stuff like that, but
yeah,
every business should be duplicatable. Every
yeah.
business should be replicatable. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to franchise it or anything like that, if not, you don't have a business. You have a skill that basically you formed a hobby from, and you're
Hmm.
able to get paid in the meantime.
Yeah,
Every business that you have should be able to be essentially a business in a box, and that's what we help people do is pretty much systemize and automate their business, but not keep it small. We want to help you scale it and make millions of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands.
that's awesome. Yeah, and a funny thing that you're saying about Shark Tanks, actually one of our business partners is Kevin Harrington. It's
Oh,
something that
nice.
he tells us all the time is any system that we put together, we need to be able to develop it to the point that you can move it laterally to all the
Absolutely.
businesses because you
Yes.
always want to have an open door for new opportunity. And as a leader, I think that's something that we need to, every time we innovate something, we need to be able not only to give back, receive back, but also see to the sides laterally to see how we can help others. Because, you know, fortunately, we, an example of this too, like we've been helping businesses in developing business credit, getting loans, getting credit, getting lending and funding to create scale, and even take their business to the next level. With that same idea and having eyes open, we always also listen to the client. And one of the pain points that they've been having is the ability to find merchant accounts that help them, merchant accounts that are willing to work with certain industries, because being in the credit business or in the credit building industry, you'd be surprised how our business or the industry that we are in is treated. It's very discriminated upon,
Mm.
and not every bank wants to work with you. So the opportunity rose for us to develop our own merchant account system
Oh,
or
nice. Okay.
merchant paying system, which is gonna come very soon, and we're gonna be able to work with a lot of those industry that
Mhm.
quote unquote are blacklisted or that are considered the risky industries, because I believe nowadays things are completely changing. I mean, one example of that is the cannabis industry. It is legal in many states, and that is a booming and rising business, rising opportunity for many people. But there's a lot of roadblocks that someone just like what you've done. Like I haven't seen many companies that are able to develop something this way specifically for a security company. Because you think about a security company, you think that it's just easy enough, but you being in that industry is not, right? Am I correct?
No, it's not easy at all. It's actually really it's simple, but it's not easy if you don't have, because a lot of times you just don't know what you don't know. So if you don't already have the system, like now I have the system, so I can go into any security company and whip it into shape in really quickly. But throughout the years, it's been really hard at certain points, and mostly because you're dealing with other humans. You know what I mean? So we don't have robots as security guards. There are some, but that'll be a while before that takes over. Um,
Yeah.
but in terms of in terms of running the business, like you really have to be super systematic with service businesses to make sure that you're getting the same results
Yeah.
time after time. Yep.
So we help businesses to develop their entities, and every state is different. Every jurisdiction has their own policies. So if a company, let's just say in the United States, or someone is trying to go into the security system, the security company or agency, what do they have to do? Like what are some of the first steps that they should be start taking?
If they want to start a security company,
Yeah,
the very first thing they should do is call Snap. No.
yeah, there we go.
In order to start a security company, it's really easy, and that's the thing about it. That's the reason why we saw a need for our business, is because anyone can start a security company pretty much, as long as you just don't have a bad criminal record.
Hmm.
You can go ahead and apply for your security guard license, and you can start your business, right? And then you can go out there and start pitching companies and try to get contracts. But the thing about it is, that that makes the industry oversaturated with
Yeah.
companies that don't know what they're doing. It basically commoditizes the industry, and it makes it so that the industry is only worth um, what the companies are worth that are making all the mistakes. Because
Wow.
if all the companies are charging $21 an hour for security, say, and they're all crap, then nobody wants to pay $30 an hour for security for another company that's just going to provide the same results. But that's where we come in, is where we help you basically separate yourself from the pool of other companies that are out there, because it's not hard to separate yourself from a market. In a market like this, basically all you have to do is have the correct systems in place, and you can beat out your competition just by doing good work.
You know what? And that's a great point, man. Actually, one of my mentors, Grant Cardone, talks
Hmm.
about that you set the price. Price
Absolutely.
is arbitrary. You set your value. He was
Yep.
talking about that in one of the homes that he had a couple years ago. He decided to sell it. It was in a nice affluent area, and property was going for a couple millions of dollars. He decided to sell this property for 2 millions above the asking price.
Oh wow.
And even the realtor was saying to him, is like, hey, you're never gonna sell this property. It's like, I guarantee you that I'm going to sell it.
Hmm.
Not only I know how to sell it, I'm going to sell it, meaning he's gonna talk about it and he's gonna be able to sell the property. And
Yep.
it really is whatever you decide, because now you're talking about, hey, if you go out there and all these companies just give you a crap work for $21 an hour, how can a company differentiate themselves by doing 30? Well, guess what?
Yep.
You do it the best. When you gain knowledge when you actually learn about your industry, when you actually gain the people, you go snap and you learn about how to create a good agency. Now you have the ability to say, no, we are worth this because we are able to deliver this type of work, this type of value, and this is what we're able to do for you, guaranteed. So
Yep.
yeah, you could go with the other one, but what we want to do is make sure that you don't pay twice, because you're going to
Absolutely.
have to go to them and they pay our prices too. So which one would you rather do? I'm trying to save you money as it is. Yeah, I'm a little more expensive, but you know what? In the long run, I'm going to be cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. Because right now, what we have, especially in the security guard industry, what we have is like, let's just say you have an apartment building. One company will have it for 6 months. The next company will have it for 9 months. The next company will have it for 3 months. And it's just like nobody is retaining these customers. But there's a lot of construction going on, especially in cities like Seattle, where security is needed. But nobody can hold on to their customers because they just don't have the systems to back their service. So that's
Got
like
it.
we come in. Yeah.
Now, is a system that you have created replicatable in every state?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Every state, Canada, the system has
Canada
already.
too.
Yeah. I've actually coached other businesses besides security,
Hmm.
and it works the same. It's like I said, business principles are the same across industries, and so there are things that I teach now that are specific to security, of course, within Snap, but the overall system works for any business here in the United States and in Canada.
Nice,
But
nice.
like I said, our focus is security guard agencies for the time being.
All right, so now let's go a little more deep into this. I know you from a inner circle that we are part of, and I know the caliber person that you are. I also know the change that you've done, uh, physically, mentally, and emotionally. As a leader, what do you think we should do? Or what do you think a person that wants to become the best self, especially in this business or in business today? Because if you think about this, there is going to be a recession very soon. How can a person that wants to go in business today, specifically in the security agency industry, prepare themselves or start developing themselves so they could gain that resiliency needed that a leader will need in the next couple of months and years?
Yeah, what I would say is that the security industry is one of the best industries to get started in during the time of a recession. I owned my first company. I started in 2009, and that was what the recession back in 2008.
Mhm.
We were successful through that, and so I said, I started my second security guard company, and I said, it's recession proof. And so I want, that's what I want. I want a recession-proof business. But I had no idea that we were going to go through a global pandemic, and it
Mhm.
proved also to be pandemic-proof. So the security industry is actually a really good industry to be in. Um, so that's one thing about that. But now, when you talk about personally developing, the skill set, and you talked about the resilience to be successful in business. What I've done, and I'm still working on it. I have a long way to go. But
Yeah.
what I've done to make the most progress in my life is just get around people who are doing way better than me. Like you mentioned, Carlos, in the inner circle that we're a part of, our mentor in that inner circle is $100 million man. And so there's not many places on earth that someone like me can get access to a guy whose business makes $100 million a year.
Right.
But in that inner circle, I put my money where my mouth is, and I
Hmm.
invested in that coaching and that mentorship. And you
Yeah.
have too. I also have other mentors too, and all of them, all my mentors are financially wealthy. It's not all about the money, but I think the money is a symptom of how they live otherwise.
Yeah.
I always look at people that I want to have something. I want to live like them in some type of way. Either they're great family people. They
Yeah.
enjoy their marriage. They enjoy their children. And they're making. My mentors tend to make millions of dollars. I won't talk. I won't necessarily ask people who are just a level above me for advice. I want to go at people who are multiple levels above me. And like you mentioned, Grant Cardone is one of your mentors, and I know you've pitched him on certain deals and things like that. And like it's like that. That's exactly what I would recommend to do for anybody. Period.
So reality, and I want to
Cheers,
make
cheers,
sure
by the way.
everyone.
Cheers,
Oh
by the way.
yeah, man. You know we're drinking some whiskey. What are you drinking, by the way?
I drink Jack Daniels.
Jack. I'm drinking tonight. I'm drinking Jack Daniel's honey. I
Right
love
on.
it. So
Right
salute, brother. Salute. All right. So we're talking about developing yourself. So something that I want to make sure that a lot of people understand, because developing yourself is not easy, and it takes time. It takes commitment. It takes discipline. But the reward that you reap from it, it is so rewarding. Something that you gotta understand and prepare yourself is, when you start doing these things, start developing, you are going to lose. What I mean by that, you are going to lose friends. People that don't, quote unquote, were your friends, that don't want you to be successful. People that see you now doing better, and they're going to be very jealous of you. They want to keep you down, and they don't want to see you doing better. But you stick into it, gaining resilience, and you're going to gain the new type of people, the new type of friendship that are going to elevate you to the next level. And that's something that and again, and Dr. John Maxwell. So I don't know if you know that I'm a certified coach through Dr. John Maxwell. And one of the things that he teaches is that in leadership, obviously it's not positional, but in order for you to lead others, in order for you to now move on and lead others, you need to develop yourself first.
Yep.
No one cares what you know until they know that you care. Meaning that you need to. So it's like he always talk about the law of the lid. If you see the lid, uh, um, what do you call these things? A flea. I forgot the
Uh-huh.
name. A flea can only jump so far as the lid that it holds if you put it into a jar, right? And even
Mhm.
though you take the jar, people become used to it and they won't jump higher than that.
Yep.
So the law of the lead states that the as farthest that I can go, farthest that I actually have been able to develop myself or teach myself or get training for myself, that's the furthest that I could develop the people that are under me.
Yep.
If I want my people to be type A individuals, alpha individuals, type A salesmen, and business person, business men and women, guess what I gotta do? I gotta invest in myself first.
Yep.
You should be the first investment that you invest on. If you have $1,000, $2,000 today, the first investment before you do anything is that yourself. So,
Absolutely.
and it goes, it's like a lot of people, they get frustrated and give up because they start doing all of these things that they hear from so many other people. And something that I urge you to understand is, always study the person that you are getting an advice from. Cheesy advice that I give people is, you will never get, or I will never take any advice from my mechanic about my dental work, because they have no knowledge of it, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just a cheesy advice, but it has a more behind it. Always see who's giving you the advice and make sure that they walk the walk, and they've been there in order to take you from that point A to point B the fastest way. And don't
Yep.
I mean and I don't know, Omar, I don't know if you've been like me, like a lot of my family told me, even with credit, I'm a credit king right here. I'm being the credit assassin. And to this day they still tell me, oh, credit's not good. Credit's going to damage your credit. If you get credit cards, it's going to damage your credit. But that's the same thing that a lot of our family, and I don't think they mean wrong by the advice that they're giving us, but the way that they've been taught. And unfortunately, like, you are teaching businesses how to develop the operation, how to become successful as a security agency. We teach company how to develop the business credit, how to get loans, how to develop operationals, sales. But you know what? There wouldn't be an opportunity to what we're teaching if the schools would teach what we're teaching today. What
Yeah.
do you think about that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have three kids that are, I have two kids that are unschooled, and I have one kid that's homeschooled.
Right.
Unschooled means that they're completely removed from the curriculum. You can do that in my state,
Okay.
but then the other one is in homeschool, and he'll be unschooled soon. He just like was a little resistant because we started with him late. My youngest daughter, she's just been unschooled the entire time, and
Yeah.
she's brilliant. What she's learning is entrepreneurship, investing, things like that that are going to actually make a difference in her life. I
Nice.
teach her sales, a lot of things like that. And so, and then we also, we work with her on the math and the science and the English and all that type of stuff. We make time for it, but
Yeah.
it's just honestly, school is just a big daycare. Like you said, your business is completely, they skip right over on how to build credit, right? That's just one of the things they skip right over. But for example, in security, your service is absolutely necessary. Most security companies fail because they can't um, they can't payroll's so expensive, so they can't grow the companies. And when
Yeah.
they do grow it, when they do grow the company, they either have to take a merchant cash advance, and that those are really really predatory
It's
loans.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really expensive loans, and
Hmm.
so not having business credit really really hurts companies in the security industry. And what they need are lines of credit, and they need as much access to capital as possible,
Yeah.
not so that they can go crazy with the money, but so that they can run their business efficiently, and they don't have to wait on anybody, and they don't have to pay high interest on merchant cash advances, things like that. If you don't have business credit in the security industry, then you're probably not going to grow that far.
Wow.
Yeah, and another thing is, one of the cool things that we teach our clients is how to grow their business once they've systemized it. How to grow their business exponentially through acquiring other companies. Of course, you need credit for that. You actually don't need as much. It's not as impossible as it sounds. Actually, once you systemize your business and get it running, functioning like a well-oiled machine, then you start acquiring other companies and building that network like that.
So, you say two key points there that I want to talk about. I love it. So,
Mhm.
one of the things you said about your kids, I love that because, yes, yeah, the generational wealth, right? How can you leave a legacy if you don't teach that legacy on how to deal with money? Because you could leave tremendous amount of money to them, and what's going to happen? They are not going to be able to manage it.
Yeah,
I'd rather leave my kids the ability to make and earn money and multiply than leaving dollars for them to use. That's more than anything that I could give, more valuable than anything that I can give them. Not only that, you said something else about acquisition of other businesses. Guys, a recession is going to start coming. Something that you got to keep in mind in the world right now, especially in the United States, there are a lot of baby boomers that are about to start either selling their businesses or just walking away from them. By learning what you're learning, especially if you're trying to go into a security agency company, you at least you learn the foundation of what you need to do and create the credit that you need for you to now spend, because that in the recession, that's where you could create wealth. If you have the credit needed, you may be able to actually acquire one or two, even three new companies. And all of a sudden, you become that magnitude of company that you always dreamed of. But now, guess what? You also know how to manage it, because that's the same thing that Omar is saying. A lot of these companies going to business not knowing or not having a clue on how to operational work the business, not having the credit. And all of a sudden, they find themselves in a hole, owning a job, and they just hate their lives and they just walk away. So by creating what you're creating and working with Snap, you will be able to actually not only learn the foundation, but at the same time be in a position to take advantage of an opportunity that is about to start happening very soon, and be able to expand and create what we call generational wealth. Right, Omar?
absolutely.
All right, man. Some good whiskey, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you something. So, if I am a person that wants to start a company today, like, what do you offer and how can I work with you?
um, well, we have two different ways that you can work with us. One is that we can coach you
Hmm.
on how to build basically how to relaunch your business. There's so much stuff that a lot of companies are missing. Basically, what we do is we help you relaunch your business, and we give you everything that you need in order to, all the systems, all the processes. We help you implement them into your business, and then, there are a few things that we do that really help accelerate the growth of either a startup or a company that we need to relaunch. And then we have, another program for companies, that are interested in having and creating a semi-passive income where, we actually do the work for you.
Wow.
And so, we actually build you a business in a box. And we can do that whether it's a startup, whether you're interested in starting up a new security company, or you want to revamp your current business.
Nice. So, I mean, a lot of people are looking for that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So, where can they go in order to find you, to work with you? Like, you have social media. What is the site? Talk to me.
Yeah. So we're on YouTube at Snap Academy, and we're also at on Instagram at Snap Security Coaching. We also have a website, and we're launching our first blueprint today, which is called the Snap Blueprint, and you can go get that at snapacademy.co.
Snapacademy.co. Guys, we're gonna put all of these links for the YouTube channel, the Instagram, and the site for the big launch that is happening tonight, midnight. Right? Am I correct?
That's happening tonight at midnight. Yes, and I forgot to mention that we also have a Facebook group for security agency owners.
Nice.
And in there, we do, we offer a lot of value in there. We do, trainings and different things like that, and it's all free in there. Just a community that we're trying to build because we feel like, we need to basically know each other and stick together. Yep. So that's another thing.
Got it.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's called Snap Nation. Sorry.
Snap Nation. Got it. All right. No matter what, we still got. I'll get all the right information. We'll put it into the description of this link. This is gonna be streamed, and we'll repost a lot of the information. But guys, hey, I appreciate Omar. Thank you for being here with us today. And if you guys are interested, please reach out to Omar. We're gonna be putting all his information for you guys to go ahead and call directly. Hey, this is something we want to help you. There's nothing earning over here. We want to make sure that we bring raw value to a lot of you. If you need help with credit, give us a call. If you need help starting a business, putting the operation of a new security agency, Omar is the man. Omar Palacios with Snap Academy. They'll be able to help you out, even do it for you. So don't wait any longer. Recession is coming. If you need to start business that is going to be recession proof, especially if you know that the job that you have will not be around for too long, guys, this is the time. If that was your interest, let's get going, guys. But Omar, thank you for being here with us today. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you. Anything else you want to tell everybody?
No, that's it, man. I just want to encourage everybody, if you're thinking about starting a business, go ahead and take that step, and let's move forward into success all together. Let's do it.
That's awesome. Hey, guys, until the next time, this is Business, Funding, and Whiskey. Thank you for your time. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Carlos.
All right, man.
I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them?